How's it going? I've seen some 2022 films I haven't had a chance to talk about, so let's talk about them. Let's start off with Turning Red, directed by Dom Shi. It is the newest Pixar film, and it tells a story about how Mei, a 13-year-old Chinese girl living in Toronto, she starts to feel a little too excited about certain things. You know, she's growing up, she's becoming a woman, and she turns into a big red panda, and she has to learn how to control it by a specific point so she can trap it. But over time, she learns that she wants to keep it because, it's a part of her, and she wants to express how she feels about certain things, especially being around her friends. So it's about her having to control, feeling excited and certain emotions that she'd feel with growing up. But she's feeling the pressure of her mother and her grandmother as well. And what I have to say is that this film was very surprising. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did because from the trailers, I was thinking the art style looks a little weird, but that's just because Pixar hasn't done a film like this before. This is the most stylistic film Pixar has done. I love the character designs. At first, I thought it looked a little off-putting just because of the trailers, but it matches the tone of the film it's going for. It's silly, it's fun, it's expressive, and there's nothing Pixar has done that's quite like this. I think the film looks great. I love all the character designs. I love all the characters. I think they're all charming. There's a lot of great jokes in it. I laughed quite a bit. I laughed more than I thought I would have. Pixar just makes good films, I think, and this is definitely a very good family-friendly film. It's a lot about feeling the pressures of family. It's about growing up. I love films about, coming-of-age stories and growing up and learning to not distance yourself, but become your own person. I've always loved stuff like that, and I think Pixar did a great job with this film. And it's also a very risky film. There's a lot of stuff in here you probably wouldn't hear in a lot of other children's media, because this is people see Pixar films and think they're just for kids. No, they're for everyone. This is a great family film because they talk about periods. And the title of the film is called Turning Red. It's about a little girl who turns into a big red panda. It's obviously about growing up. It's obviously about becoming a woman, periods. And they talk about pads, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would see this film and think they're grooming the children because May does express feelings of romantic stuff. She sees a guy and she starts drawing him because she finds it attractive, and then she also sees a girl and she gets very emotional about that and starts turning into a panda in certain places, like her ears and her tail and her hands and stuff. I'm pretty sure people will see it and go, oh, they're grooming the kids, they want to turn them gay. I've seen some stuff like that on Instagram and Twitter and whatever. I mean, it's the part about growing up that they captured, and I think they did it well, and I really think anyone can watch this film and enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and I didn't think I would have, but Pixar surprised me yet again. This is I'd say a great family film. I think everyone should give it a shot if you haven't already. It's been out for well over a month, I think. And I mean, I think it's a important and unique film. There's definitely something anyone can get out of it, especially the growing up stuff, especially, blossoming into who you want to be. It's a really simple concept, but there's a lot of twists and turns in this film. There's a lot of sweet moments, and I'm not afraid to admit that I did shed a couple tears watching it. There's just a lot of great stuff in it. I'm going to give Turning Red an A-. It truly was good, and I really liked it. It's just been a while since I've seen it, so I'm not 100% on all the details. I watched it a while back, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it's something everyone should watch. Now let's move on to probably one of the greatest films I've seen in my life because of how well constructed it is. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. People call them the Daniels. And this film was something else. It's really hard to explain. I just want to look up the characters' names because Evelyn, I think, is one of the characters' names, the main character. Yes. Okay, so Everything Everywhere All at Once tells the story of Evelyn. and her struggling business with her husband Waymond, who is played by I don't want to pronounce this guy's name and butcher it. He's from Goonies and he's Short Stack. No, not Short Stack. He's from Temple of Doom. Round Top? Is that his name? Short Round. Jesus Christ. Anyways. Ki Hoi Kwan. I'll talk about how he did a fucking excellent job later on down the line. But the film tells a story about how their marriage is struggling. They own a laundromat in the States. I don't remember which state it was. But marriage struggling, failing laundromat, they have issues with taxes, and their adult daughter kind of resents Evelyn. The daughter's name is Joy. And so while going to the IRS to talk about tax stuff, Waymond starts acting strange, pulls Evelyn into a closet, and says, hey, you... Oh shit, there's a blackout. Oh well, let's let it continue. I think this looks cool anyway. So Waymond pulls Evelyn into a janitor's closet. Oh, there it goes again. I'm not editing this out. I think that was fucking hysterical. Anyways, Waymond pulls Evelyn to the closet, a janitor's closet, and says, listen to me, I'm not your Waymond. You gotta do everything I say because your world is in danger. I don't want to spoil anything else about it, but Evelyn has to... How do I talk about this film without spoiling it? It's so damn hard. Because I don't want to spoil it. You have to go watch this for yourself. I really want to discuss it, but you have to watch it for yourself. Trust me that it's a great fucking film, okay? Jesus Christ, why is it so hard to talk about this? Okay. Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's basically what the title says. Evelyn has to tap into the other Evelyns of all the other different multiverses to stop this villain from trying to do this dastardly plan. And all these characters, if they focus enough with these specific earpieces, if they focus enough and do a strange activity, they can obtain the abilities and be in touch with the other version of themselves in a different universe. That's all I really will say about in terms of the plot, setting it up for what's going on, because I didn't remember much about this film going into it. I remember seeing it's an A24 film. I remember seeing a trailer from, I believe, last year and thinking, okay, that looks like an interesting film. I'll definitely give it a shot. And let me tell you about the directors. They directed Swiss Army Man. I thought that film was amazing. About a guy who is on an island and he has to use a dead body like a Swiss Army knife, hence Swiss Army Man, to do different tasks to survive. It's a strange film, but it was really good. They also directed the music video for Turn Down for What. So these guys have style. And let me tell you, this film is so damn well constructed. There's a lot of things to follow. There's a lot of different versions of characters to follow. The action scenes, the choreography was all perfect. It's a great looking film. It's a great sounding film. I thought a lot of the score was great. There was a lot of great pieces in it. The acting all around was great, especially by Ki Hoi Kwan. Michelle Yeoh did a great job as the main character, Evelyn. She really brings a lot, but the biggest standout is Ki Hoi Kwan. He was fucking amazing. He has a lot of different personalities to play through. And I think the best parts of his acting are displayed through homages to Wong Kar-wai films. There's a lot of homages to Wong Kar-wai stuff for specific sections of the film. And I saw it and I laughed because I follow specific film buff Instagram accounts. And I see it in my explore page, and so there's always stuff about making fun of Wong Kar-wai fans and whatever, and like just appreciating his style. That chuckle got me a chuckle out of me for a little bit. But damn, I can't commend this film enough. It was fucking amazing. There's probably nothing wrong. I probably have maybe one issue with the film, and that's just a personal thing, because the rest of the film is constructed fucking beautifully. The editing is fantastic. There's just so much to keep up with in terms of all the different plot lines and everything happening all at once, hence the name of the film. And it's fucking hysterical. There's all the jokes are great, and I've heard some stories about working on the set from some friends, and I've heard nothing but great things about how the Daniels just run everything. And it has been a while since I've seen this film, but I've been thinking about it so much, and it's just such a fucking great movie. Go watch it, please. It has great action. It looks great. It sounds great. The score is great. The action is just so damn fun to watch, and it's truly a weird film, and it's so imaginative too. There's certain things that happen that I thought, wow, that was fucking funny as hell, and I would never thought of that. I would have never thought of a film like this. I joked and said, this is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, until we get Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And this film is very heartfelt. There are a lot of great heartfelt, emotional, riveting, dramatic, suspenseful moments. All the adjectives for those words. I did feel my heart be a little warm in specific scenes. I can't spoil it though, but there is, and I'm not afraid to say that I did shed a tear watching this as well. This is a fucking phenomenal film. My only complaint with this film is part of the third act. And I'm pretty sure you can break this down into a 5-act film. But I like seeing films as 3 acts. And the third, I mean, of course I can see films in 5 acts, but just from me watching the film, and I didn't think it was that long. It's only a 2-hour and 19-minute film. It wasn't really long, and it didn't feel long. It was very fast, and it kept moving on to every beat until the very end, where it feels like there's a lot of... I gotta go back to a text I sent my friend, because we did discuss the film. He really liked it a lot. I really liked it a lot. The only part that felt long to me was the third act, and that's because there felt like there were too many lessons or preachy moments, even though they didn't feel preachy to me. There's a speech about being kind amidst all the violence that was happening and characters being confused about where exactly they were. That was the moment that brought me to tears. I thought it was beautiful, especially from Ke Huy Quan. The dude was fucking amazing. He pulled off every fucking version in character he had to play. And like Turning Red, there was a lot of stuff about conflict between the mother and daughter, about the daughter's choices in life, and about Evelyn's choices in life and her regrets, and more stuff I can't talk about. But there seemed to be a lot of jokes and a lot of jokes that played off to turn out to be a big part of the third act, because it's a lot of resolving conflicts because of how many different multiverses there are, and how Evelyn has to tap into each of these different versions of herself to complete specific tasks to help these other people out, and there are lessons being learned, and arcs being reached for these characters. I can't spoil it. I don't want to, because you have to see it. It's just that fucking amazing. But the third act did feel a tad too long for me, because there just was so much going on. But I'm not complaining, because I did enjoy it all, but I was thinking, I want to see the biggest picture of it all that's happening right now. All in all, this is probably one of the best crafted films I've seen in my life. It was fucking beautiful. It was. It just was. It was like the title says. It was everything. It was everywhere. It was all at once. It was just fucking phenomenal. And I think I can give this film an A plus. That's it for me. It was just too beautiful. It was fucking phenomenal. Wow. I want to watch it again now, thinking about it. It was great. It was fantastic. It was one of the best films I've ever seen in my life. Just because of how well constructed it is. And I've heard nothing but great things from anyone else. I have not heard one single bad thing about someone watching this film. Let's move on to The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. Is that his name? He's the guy that directed The Lighthouse and The Witch. I have not seen The Witch yet. I know, I'm a terrible person. But I did see The Lighthouse, and I thought The Lighthouse was fucking amazing. And The Northman was fucking amazing. It tells a story about a young prince. It's Hamlet. Think of it, it's basically Hamlet. Young prince sees his father, the king, killed by the hands of his uncle. He escapes, becomes a Viking. Years on down the line, he hears whereabouts of where the uncle is. So he pretends to be a slave to sneak into his uncle's land and avenge his father. Now, this film looks fucking great. It looks fucking beautiful. Every shot was as crisp and as clean as it can be. I thought the acting was great all around. There's a lot of twists and turns in this film that I did not see coming. There's a lot of blood. The action is great. There's a long shot, or what appears to be a single take near the beginning of the film of raiding a village. That looks fucking great. And I can feel the passion Robert Eggers had. There's a lot of characters they all have these accents. It feels well researched. The costume design was great. It feels like it could belong in those old time periods. I want to say, again, the score. The score was fucking beautiful. There's a lot of great, terrifying, beautiful sounding, angelic moments. It felt right. A lot of great action. It was riveting. It was bloody. It's everything I wanted to see in films like this. It was just, wow. And I would say, aside The Last Duel, even though I haven't seen The Last Duel, to my knowledge, I haven't seen a film like this in quite a while, because these kind of films don't get made, because a lot of people won't go and see these films. I don't know if this movie will make its money back because of all the competition it had to go up against. But it was amazing. I saw this film the same weekend as I saw The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I'm going to talk about that next. But I enjoyed this film more because it was fucking phenomenal. I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know, it was so bloody and violent. I can't get over that. I love films like this. And it wasn't grotesque or it wasn't disgusting. Like, it's gore for the sake of gore and shock value. You know, it has meaning and purpose to it. People are scared and they're afraid of it. And there's lots of talks about Valhalla and, you know, magic and gods. There's some moments that might confuse people. A lot of this felt like The Green Knight to me, where there are these moments that appear to happen but don't appear to happen. I'll say this. Robert Eggers is a fucking masterful director. I mean, he's making these well-made, incredible films, and it's a fucking testament to someone's artistic vision. It was just, I thought that the acting was great. It looked great. It sounded great. Great fucking action. I'm repeating the same things over and over again, but it was just amazing. I love Robert Eggers, and I can't wait to see more of what he has to do. I'm going to give this film an A. My only complaint is that we feel sympathy for this main character because of his tragic backstory, but then we see him become like a brutal Viking and killing these innocent people in the beginning of the film because he's tapped into his inner animal. You know, he's a dog. He's killing. You know, he's a Viking, but so it kind of felt hard to feel sympathy for a while for that main character. That really is my only complaint. Other than that, this film was fucking fantastic. I'm giving The Northman an A. It was just my friend gave it a 10 out of 10. I have no issue with that. Again, I haven't heard a single bad thing about this film. From the communities that I follow online and stuff, they all say this film was fucking amazing. And I'm happy that there are people who are enjoying it. I'm happy Robert Eggers made this film. I was excited when I saw it. I was hoping I'd be able to see it, and I did. You know, because I live in Los Angeles where you can see anything. Alright, let's talk about the next film. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, directed by Tom Gormican. The film tells a story about Nicolas Cage. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm saying the actor's name and replacing with the character. I'm saying Nicolas Cage plays Nicolas Cage. He is struggling because he's struggling to find work, you know, acting gigs. And so after being turned down for a role, he gets an offer for $1 million to fly out to Italy. Is it Italy? I think so. Spain? I want to get it right. There goes the power again. Oh well. I'm not editing this out. I think it's fucking hysterical, by the way. While I'm looking it up, he's having issues with his daughter because his daughter feels like he's pushing on his love of film, especially older films, onto her. He's having issues with his ex-wife because he's not there for the daughter, and you know, he's trying to put his work above being a family man. Funny enough, there was a film called The Family Man, and he was in it, and I think he did a great job in that too. Nicolas Cage would be a good actor. A lot of the film is not poking fun, but like commemorating Nicolas Cage's wacky roles that he's done. And he's such a great actor, and he does it good. He's a great fucking blockbuster star. And what's funny is that this film is poking fun at the absurdity of filmmaking. It's poking fun at about the structure of films, about making films now. And it's not only poking fun at it by talking about it, but by actually doing it. They're poking fun at, okay, it's going to be a deep, serious character drama, but it's also going to be an action-packed thriller. And when you realize that, you see where the film is going, but it doesn't take away from it. It's just, it's funny. It's the commentary is funny on it. Yeah, they go to Spain. Okay, so he goes to Spain for Javi's birthday party to be a special guest there, and Javi's played by Pedro Pascal, who is great in this film. Pedro Pascal, he's amazing in The Mandalorian. I thought he was the best part in Wonder Woman 84. I really want to check out his other stuff, but Pedro Pascal is amazing in this film. He's a great actor, and his facial expressions, his tone. There's a scene where they do acid and they're tripping, and it's just funny as hell. This is also a very hysterical film. It is funny. It's uplifting at points. There's great action in it too, because the main plot of the film is that Nick Cage ends up being taken into the CIA because they think Javi is running a dangerous criminal organization that stole the daughter of a person who's running for president or something. And as interesting as that stuff was, I didn't find it as compelling as Nicolas Cage's arc of him wanting to both connect with his daughter and make a living to support them, and being one with himself. He has conflicts with himself. There's this other version of himself called Nicky, a younger version of himself, and he was like, I'm Nick Cage and I'm cool, and you're old Nick Cage. He's like, he wears a leather jacket and stuff, and it's funny as hell. He's like, you don't want to do these dumb student films, which is funny because Nick Cage has been doing a lot of great stuff with these past years. Mandy, but he also did Pig last year. Pig was one of my favorite films of last year. And I know I'm getting sidetracked a little, but my favorite part of the film wasn't the action, but was just the comedy and the friendship between Nicolas Cage and Javi, played by Pedro Pascal. A lot of the more serious moments weren't gripping to me, but I enjoyed it because of the commentary of making films, because Javi pitches a script to Nick Cage. He wants him to read it and be in the film, and he accepts the role and to make a movie with Javi, so he can stay a little longer to figure out if Javi is actually hiding this person's daughter. And it's that CIA stuff. I could leave it, but it does provide some cool action near the end of the film. Nick Cage gets to do his cool Nick Cage stuff. He gets to be his wacky self. He gets to be his stoic, heroic character self. He gets to be his comedic self. It's funny. It's great. Nick Cage is awesome. He's a legend. They even mentioned in the film he's a legend. And the fact that this film is what it is, at first it feels like this is like someone's fan fiction about Nick Cage himself. And I think it's what it is, but it's a mixture of everything. It's a character drama as well as an action thriller. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, very enjoyable. I really want to watch it again. I thought it looked great. I don't really remember anything of the score, but still an all-around enjoyable film. I'm going to give The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent a B. And I think it accomplished exactly what it was going for. And there are a lot of great shots in this film. Like a lot of really interesting shots that I really enjoyed. Alright, now let's talk about the last film on here. Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, this might be my favorite film of the year so far. If not Everything Everywhere All at Once or The Batman. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is a sequel to Sonic the Hedgehog. I just recently watched Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time. And what I have to say about it, it was a solid film. There are some dumb moments in it, but I thought it was an all-around enjoyable, solid movie for what it was. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 tells the story about how, after the events of the first film, Dr. Eggman finds a way to get off the Mushroom Planet, and Sonic... God damn, that tan. That's disgusting. Sonic decides he wants to be a hero and try to save the world, save cities from bank robbers and stuff. But he's not doing it the right way. He's being reckless about it. And so the Donut Lord, I can't remember his name. Is his name Jeff? No, Jeff Fowler's the director of the film. Who the hell plays the Donut Lord? Tom, played by James Marsden. Okay, so Tom, who's his father figure, is like, hey Sonic, you'll be a hero when when the time comes, but for now stay low. So Tom and who the hell's his wife? I don't know. The human stuff in this film isn't interesting at all. I'm going to say that. And I think people went into this film knowing that the human stuff isn't interesting. Maddie. Is that her name? I think so. People know the human stuff isn't what they come for to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. They came to see Knuckles, Sonic, Tails, and Eggman. And whenever there's Sonic and Eggman stuff going on, and Knuckles and Tails and stuff. It's a joyride. I had a dumb grin on my face the entire time. I thought it was amazing, just seeing the Sonic stuff happen. Because from years of, I don't go out of my way to watch the video game adaptation movies. Like, I haven't seen the Resident Evil films, I haven't seen the Street Fighter films or whatever. But I heard nothing but just bad and terrible things about them. It was up until recently where people were enjoying Detective Pikachu, and then Sonic, where I'm thinking, okay, maybe they can learn how to make good video game adaptations. And I'm enjoying the Halo series right now. I have my issues with it, but that'll come in the review. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a joyride. Jim Carrey as Eggman was once again amazing. If he's probably the best part of the film, really. And if this is his last film, if he's not going to do a Sonic the Hedgehog 3, then kudos to him. Yeah, he had a great career. And it's just always great to see Jim Carrey do his Jim Carrey stuff, his wacky faces, his motions, his voices. It's just, I love the guy. The guy's great. He's fantastic as Eggman. Anyways, the plot of the film really is just Eggman and Knuckles team up because Knuckles wants to find the Master Emerald. And he says that Sonic can lead him to him. Eggman wants to find Sonic, so they team together to get Sonic and try to find the Master Emerald. It can create, it says it can turn thoughts. I'm not the biggest Sonic fan. I grew up playing some games. Mainly Sonic Riders was my favorite Sonic game for a while, but I've played some Sonic games. I'm just not in the know on all of the lore of all the games and stuff. But I can see elements of specific stuff in there. There's Sonic 2 in there. Near the end of the film, there's a little bit of Sonic Heroes because of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. Sonic Riders, you've seen the snowboard scenes and they're in the avalanche stuff in the trailer. Sonic X references. There's a lot of references in this film. Like the Stone character, Eggman's assistant, has a coffee shop called the Mean Bean in reference to I'd say the Tetris-like game Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine. And there's a lot of cool references in the film. Like Sonic can't swim, and when he's underwater, he sees like an air bubble, and he sucks it up, and so he can stay underwater for a little longer. There's a lot of love and passion for the Sonic character, and for just the Sonic stuff in this film. I'm just not a fan of all the human stuff. Like Tom and Maddie, is that her name? Yeah, Tom and Maddie go to a wedding for Maddie's sister. What the hell is her name? Rachel. They go to Hawaii for a wedding. And I think I'm going to spoil the film. It's been out long enough, so I'll put a disclaimer in that I'll do spoilers for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because I have to talk about this stuff. The film is longer than the first film, and it definitely feels that way because of this human stuff. Tom and Maddie go to Hawaii for Rachel's wedding. And I think it only serves this function to both make the film a little longer and to get the characters to this specific place because it's close enough to the end of the second act. And it turns out the wedding is fake because the guy that's marrying Rachel is part of the government trying to get a hold of Sonic. But it doesn't even matter because Sonic and friends escape. And then we get like some sappy love stuff between Rachel and the guy she's supposed to marry, but who turns out to be he's a government agent, but then ends up falling in love with her anyways. So I guess, yay for them. I mean, nothing to the actors. That's what they had to do. It's just no one came to see the wedding stuff. They wanted to see Sonic and Knuckles and Tails and Dr. Eggman. And all that stuff's great. I can't get behind this human stuff. I really can't. I mean, as much as I like the Tom character for being like a father figure, everything else that he's involved with and everything else all the other human stuff's involved with is dumb. Like for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, did we really need like a sappy love story? And do we really need the characters breaking out Sonic and crew? Because it's, I mean, they could have just, Tom and Maddie could have just went on vacation in Hawaii. They could have just been worrying about Sonic every 5 minutes and try and call him, and leads to funny FaceTime stuff. And then they could have just, flown back, or they could have used the ring to get out of the situation, whatever. I just didn't care about the wedding stuff. I mean, it was there so the government can be back and go, hey, remember us from the first film? I don't know. But it does lead into the third act where they do get involved with the humans again and Sonic again, I think. They're just there so they can bring in a bunch of tanks and stuff, so when Eggman gets the Master Emerald, when he tricks Knuckles, he can make his giant death egg, I think that's what it is. His giant big Eggman machine. Which, the third act of this film is fucking awesome. When Knuckles teams up with Sonic and Tails and they fight the egg machine. I thought that stuff was cool. I love all the action in this film. But I want to talk about the dance scene though. So, in order to find the Master Emerald, they have to find a compass, and the owl character that was protecting Sonic in the beginning of Sonic 1, Clawthorn or something, she gives him a map, and the map can help him find the Master Emerald, which is on Earth. Why is it on Earth? I don't know. But they find a compass, and then the compass can lead them to the Emerald. And Knuckles is a big part of the story, and before I get to the dance, I want to say that I thought Knuckles was handled great in this film. He's a big meathead, but he's not stupid, and he learns a lot throughout the film because he sees himself as this brave warrior who will do nothing to, he won't stop until he gets the Master Emerald and kills Sonic, because the Hedgehogs and the Echidnas were at war with each other, and everyone wiped out all the Echidnas, whatever. But I thought Knuckles' arc was handled great, and Tails kind of doesn't really have an arc, and I wouldn't say Tails is just there, but I really enjoyed Tails in this film. He was awesome. He's a big fanboy of Sonic, and you get the Tails backstory stuff, like he didn't have friends, everyone made fun of him because he was really smart, but I saw Tails. I saw a smart fox that can use its tails to fly. I saw the smart fox that can get them out of situations, who has all these cool gadgets, who is a fanboy of Sonic, but he was never in danger all the time. Like, he didn't have to be saved all the time. He stood up for himself at points, and I really liked that about Tails. I'm not saying I didn't like the Tails because he didn't have an arc like Knuckles, I think, if I can remember correctly, but he was there, and he was awesome. I loved him. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, they were great. Eggman was great. I love all the humor involving those three characters, like references to the games and stuff. I love all these characters. I love the characters. I love I love how they mesh together. Now, let's talk about the dance scene. They go to Siberia to find the emerald, but there's a storm. So they get into this lodge, and through some mistranslations, they want to kill Sonic and Tails, but then they do a duel, and the duel turns out to be a dance-off. Now, it's funny because it leads to, like, Tails, following Sonic and learning to be like Sonic, brave and, outgoing, but it was like, dude, there's an emerald out there that can turn thoughts into reality. Don't you think that we shouldn't spend 10 minutes on the dance scene? It's like the bar scene in the first movie, but that felt more, did that feel necessary in the first movie? I don't remember, but it did lead to some nice comedy. It was fun and showcase what Sonic can do. But in here, the dance scene. It was weird because there's a dance scene. And there was like a small dance scene in Sonic the Hedgehog 1 when Dr. Eggman's doing his little dance, you know. But this feels more like, really, come on, there's the Master Emerald out there. I know you're trying to take refuge in the lodge, but it just felt a little silly. It just felt a little silly to me, I'd say. But, you know, Sonic and Tails, they're dancing together. It was actually cool. And Tails makes a bunch of duplicates of themselves, and they're flying around and stuff, and it's... Tails' dancing is cool, and... You know, I liked that. That stuff was cool. It just felt like, did the dance-off really need to be there, though? Like, with all this tension, why couldn't they just be, like, dancing regularly like everyone else, and then everyone's amazed by that? I don't know. I think the tension needed to be there to put pressure on Tails. It just felt silly. But, you know, that's what the film is. It's silly. I don't know. It just felt a little off to me, you know? It's weird, though, because I enjoyed that, and I still enjoyed the rest of the film. Save the human stuff. But what are you going to do? What I really want to talk about, though, is in the third act when Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic team up together. It really feels like Sonic Heroes, the three of them together. And the Master Emerald gets knocked out of Eggman because Sonic distracts him while Tails and Knuckles fight him and take off the... They take the Master Emerald away, but it breaks, and Sonic's trying to get them together. It breaks into the emeralds, the Chaos Emeralds, and you know what that means? Sonic, the James Marsden and Maddie, they come to rescue Sonic. Like, you're our kid, you know, we're gonna protect you, and if you die, we're gonna die with you. So they get stomped by the Eggman foot, but with all the emeralds, Sonic becomes Super Sonic. And let me tell you, I haven't smiled that hard in a theater in quite a while. It was fucking cool. It was like, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Is Super Sonic on a fucking movie theater screen? No fucking way. And he just does cool shit, you know, defeats Eggman, and then he sends the emeralds away. And then, you know, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic bond together. They're basically the kids now of James Marsden and Maddie. And there's a scene at the end where they play baseball, and that was fun. And in a post-credit scene, the government's looking for Eggman. They're like, we can't find Eggman anywhere. No one could have survived that. He's probably dead. And then you see the Stone character, like, undercover as one of the agents, I think, looking for Eggman. But then they're like, hey, we found some files, yada yada, while we're digging through Eggman stuff. And it turns out, oh no, Project Shadow. And then you see like Shadow in like a laboratory. Then he awakens, which is setting up Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which of course is going to be made because this film was successful. Not critically, but the fans all like it. I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes stuff, and I don't like using Rotten Tomatoes, really. I just use it to see what other... Not like to base my own opinion on. I just want to see what other people say about it. It's like Instagram, basically, for me. Like, oh, what are these people saying? I'm not going to see a Rotten score and go, oh, this film's automatically bad. I'll watch for myself to say that. But there are favorable reviews. But the fans all fucking enjoyed it, I'd say. And, I'm not all too familiar with the Sonic lore in terms of... I know Shadow is... He's the opposite to Sonic, basically. But he's supposed to be the ultimate life form. And I didn't play the Sonic Adventure games. Sonic Adventure 2, in which Shadow was introduced. But I know enough, I think, to understand what Shadow is and what Sonic the Hedgehog 3 might be about. But overall, I thought Sonic the Hedgehog 2... was great. It's not as good of a film in terms of being a film as Sonic the Hedgehog 1, but it's more enjoyable and it's more fun. Sonic the Hedgehog was more tight. It was more of a film. But this Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was just so much more enjoyable. I'm going to give Sonic the Hedgehog 2 a B. It was solid. not as good of a film, but it was still enjoyable, and I mean, like, it was still really enjoyable when you saw the Sonic stuff happening. But I'd love to see more of the Sonic stuff and not the human stuff, unless it is tightly involved with Sonic, because I know there's some human stuff in Shadows lore. I just want to say this though. Ben Schwartz, I think, was the right choice for Sonic to me, especially with this design. And I'm glad that the studio got bullied into redesigning Sonic. Because if that first design went out, this film Sonic the Hedgehog 2 would have never been made. And Tails would have looked ugly. Knuckles would have looked ugly. Jim Carrey would be the only thing people are saying good about the first one, if that original Sonic design was made. But anyways, kudos. Still a really enjoyable film. I haven't had that much fun in a theater in a while. But I guess that's it for these 5 movie reviews that I've done for the 2022 films I've seen and haven't had a chance to talk about. So, what did you think about all these films? Excuse that damn helicopter. I live in Compton, by the way. There's always sirens or helicopters flying. The ghetto birds, as they call it down here. Anyways, what did you think about these films that I've seen? Damn, excuse my grammar. I'm tired. What did you think about these films? Turning Red, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Northman, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. What did you think about them? Did you agree with my thoughts? Did you have different thoughts about them? Tell me what you thought about in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. And bye.